Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Lil Nas X. Now, you probably know who this is, even if you don't really listen to quote-unquote popular music or rap music, or I guess really any of the genres you can really classify him under. I'm sure in some regard you probably have heard of Lil Nas X and at least have some sort of understanding as to like what he does and, you know, some of his songs, things like that. But today, I really just kind of want to take the time to talk about a couple of recent controversies that have kind of unfolded around his name. If you didn't know, Lil Nas X, for some reason, is a massive, it seems like, bad press magnet. Like, everything this guy does is, scrutinized, and it's, it's basically analyzed to a point of lunacy. The extent that people will go to try and cancel Lil Nas X, to try and damage his career, his reputation, is absolutely absurd, and in all reality, I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing about this. Now, it seems like it's a weekly occurrence this point that Lil Nas X is being targeted by some group of people for something that he's done. So, one of his more recent massive controversies that I was actually going to make an entirely separate video about but decided not to was the Lil Nas X Satan shoe thing. You probably heard about this. Basically, he took a bunch of 97 Air Maxes from Nike, collaborated with a third-party company, apparently put human blood in the sole of the shoe, and it had, demonic imagery and stuff all over it for the aesthetic. And, 666 pairs of these shoes were made. They sold for over $1,000 a piece. Nike is currently suing, actually, because they did not sign off on this, and they're suing for copyright infringement and whatnot. The shoes were halted, but the main focus of today's video is actually Lil Nas X's newest song featuring Jack Harlow called Industry Baby, okay? It was produced by Kanye West. It's absolutely blowing up right now. And this is something that Lil Nas X has done over his career pretty well so far. He's very chart-friendly, you know what I'm saying? His music is very, catchy. Has a lot of replayability. I mean, Old Town Road was #1 on Billboard for I think 18 weeks before it broke the record at the #1 spot. I mean, this guy makes music that people listen to, right? Well, the controversy really is kind of surrounding his most recent video. And if you remember, this is not even the first time, I think, this year that he's been in trouble for a music video. I'm pretty sure the Call Me By Your Name music video also generated a lot of controversy. And I'm actually going to incorporate that into my talking points for this one. So, if you didn't know, Lil Nas X is gay, okay? Oh my god, shocking, right? There's actually gay people that exist. I know that that's going to surprise some people, but if you ask me, as a pretty, I'd say, hardcore music fan, I mean, Lil Nas X isn't my favorite artist or anything, but I mean, he has a few good songs that I'll listen to from time to time. I really don't care, okay? I simply do not care. And this really goes for anybody. I don't care. I don't care about people's sexualities or anything. What does it honestly matter to me? If bro likes taking some dicks from time to time, as long as it's not me, what the fuck do I care? That's my mentality on it. I mean, I know that some people get so upset about things like that, but honestly, it's not something that bothers me. I don't see any sort of issue with it, and realistically, it's not my business. I was raised with this weird viewpoint called minding your own business, okay? It really works wonders. It saves you a lot of headache, but a lot of people can't mind their own goddamn business, and it's created controversy. So in these music videos, Lil Nas X is known for his 18-plus NSFW imagery, to say the least. If I recall correctly, in the Call Me By Your Name video, he ended up twerking on the devil's lap, which had religious people everywhere going into a goddamn frenzy. And then in his most recent video, there was a controversial scene where, even though it was blurred out, there was multiple men naked in a shower scene dancing, including Lil Nas X, who once again is a homosexual. And it's caused a bunch of issue, right? Because how dare this artist create art that people disagree with? How dare you use sexual imagery in your music videos? I mean, the absolute smut that Lil Nas X performed in front of the children of America is absolutely unacceptable. So people started losing their collective goddamn minds about this, and in all reality, I'm not seeing why it's such a big deal. Don't get me wrong, I can understand why people don't want their children seeing sexualized content, violent content, anything like that, anything that wouldn't be deemed appropriate for their age. Absolutely. I'm on board with that. As a matter of fact, I really don't think your 8-year-old child should be watching a video where Lil Nas X and multiple other men blurred out are dancing butt naked in a shower, okay? Maybe that isn't the best thing for your child to see. But I have personally patented a one-step solution to this problem, and it's called don't let your children consume media that you do not fucking want them to consume. So that's kind of like the main argument that people love to use when they're criticizing Lil Nas X. What about the children? What if the kids see this? What if the kids see a gay black man dancing butt naked in a shower with multiple other men? What would happen to their minds? Well, if you're that worried about it, then why are your children seeing this shit in the first place, okay? So, I feel like people forget the fact of the matter that you can actually be a parent, right? And you can choose to not allow your kids to see things that you don't want them to see. I mean, pretty much like YouTube, for example, they have a YouTube Kids app, and I'm quite certain that that music video probably wouldn't even be available on said app. And even if it was, there are steps that you can take to further prevent them from seeing this kind of shit. The reality of life is the internet does not have to censor itself. Artists do not have to censor themselves to make you feel happy about what your kids are consuming. It's up to you as a fucking parent to step in and do that for yourself. And I think that this is a big problem that our country is facing. I mean, I'm a 20-something-year-old man myself, right? I've been, living in the post-9/11 society, the hyper-hysteric America that has kind of formed since, multiple different events have happened in our society. And my observation from all of this is you just all fucking suck as parents. And that's just the reality of the matter. None of you know what you're doing. You're so busy trying to blame everyone else for your children's problems that you can't even look in the mirror and realize that you failed. And it was your job, and you didn't do what you needed to do. And this is actually a widespread thing that I've seen, okay? It really doesn't even come down to just being Lil Nas X. He's not the only thing that's ever been controversial for being sexual or anything. This is a common trend that has happened in our society. People freaking the fuck out because they don't know how to raise their kids. I mean, let's take a couple of examples here. Video games. How many times have we seen, politicians, parent groups, advocate groups, moronic middle-aged women on the internet? How many times have we seen them say, oh my god, how are we going to let our kids play Grand Theft Auto 5 and Call of Duty? It's too violent for them. They may grow up and become fucking serial killers because they played a violent video game when they were 7. But then all of a sudden, people make an excuse for it if they're blaming music or something like that. In my books, it all the way across the board is your responsibility. There was violence being written in books in the 1800s. Do you think that kids back in the 1800s were reading this shit and then going out and killing everybody? Getting yay old hatchet and going down to the town hall and cutting 6 people in half? Probably not. Movies have had sexual content, drugs, violence, gore, immoral shit since the dawn of movies, quite literally. This is not a new development. It's not like in the last 10 years, America's entertainment went from fucking Christian-friendly, PG, completely clean, to just demonic. Like Marilyn Manson, back when Columbine happened, Marilyn Manson was widely blamed for that. Do you really think that Marilyn Manson, the musician, was responsible for the Columbine shooting? Most likely, he had absolutely nothing to do with it. Sure, maybe the people listened to his music or whatever, or idolized him in some way, anything. That does not bear responsibility back on the people creating art. In reality, all it does is bear responsibility back on the people who couldn't fucking stop these problems from happening. Ever since the dawn of rap music, it's been blamed for, violence and gang culture and all kinds of crazy things, but these things all existed before rap music came along. But of course, that was a massive panic for parents, right? Like, oh my god, the kids are gonna listen to rap music. What are we gonna do? It's just mind-blowing how far people take shit like this, and Lil Nas X is the latest victim of all of this, in my opinion. This fake hysteria that people are creating around the imagery that he uses is fucking absurd, because in truth, these people do not care. If these parents and all these people really cared about the imagery in his videos, their children would not be allowed to watch it. Very simple. Here's a great example, okay? Cardi B. She's often, she's often and widespread considered the downfall of America. She's basically the Al-Qaeda of our country because she made fucking WAP, right? The crazy thing about it is, Cardi B's own children are not allowed to listen to her music. There's a video from Instagram Live where she was playing one of her songs in a room by herself. The kid walked into the room, she immediately shut the music off. How are American parents being out-parented by fucking Cardi B and then thinking that there's not a problem? So if I have to hear one more person tell me about how Lil Nas X is ruining America because, he did something very minor and maybe inconvenient for some people, I think I'm going to scream because I'm so tired of the arguments where, people blame entertainment mediums for the wrongdoing of their children. If your children are so mentally weak that you think a Lil Nas X video at the age of 14 is going to make them turn 25 and become a fucking throat goat, glizzy gladiator, pride flag wearing hippie, then maybe either A, that's who they actually are, or B, you fucking failed as a parent. There's really no other options. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, just not seeing the hysteria here, honestly, and signing out.